In 1918, there was a small factory on a 165 square meter lot near the town of Kuwana. Amid stacks of metal workpieces and surrounded by the ringing of a hammer striking steel, stood a 21-year-old technician who had started this business. His name was Jiro Nishizono. Elsewhere, there was another hard-working entrepreneur, Noboru Niwa. Japan's industrial innovation began with the teaming up of these two men. The parents of Noboru Niwa, the company's first president, emphasized the importance of education. His mother talked with him every evening, using words and ideas that helped shape his future. As a young man, Niwa felt that he would not succeed in the world unless he pursued his creative passions and developed innovative products. In fact, quality is the first thing the world notices. Niwa, who had established Tomoe Shokai, a successful company that handled tools and machinery, had been seeking a business with an international outlook. Nishizono, meanwhile, had been searching for a way to launch domestic production of bearings instead of imports. Niwa of Tomoe Shokai and Nishizono of Nishizono Iron Works were eventually brought together by happenstance. In 1922, a Swedish ship sank in the port of Yokohama. The phone call was from an acquaintance who worked for a casualty insurance company that dealt with cargo. The cargo on that ship was bearings from Sweden. At the time, that particular brand of bearings was already considered one of the world's best. As this was clearly the one opportunity Niwa had been seeking, he submitted a bid for the entire cargo. Niwa decided to make the world's best bearings of his time. Research into just such an endeavor had been going on for a long while. In fact, the first step toward the manufacture of bearings had been taken. Working toward the goal of domestic production, the ball bearing department opened for business in 1923. N for Niwa, T for Tomoe Shokai, and N for Nishizono. Latin characters were still a novelty in Japan at that time, but the new NTN brand was created aiming at global standards. The early products, however, were unable to compete effectively with imported products. Employees with superior sales and technical expertise were assembled into a team dedicated to enhancing quality and reducing costs. As the industry developed, market recognition of NTN bearings grew and led to demand to develop the bearings for an aircraft engine made entirely in Japan. In 1937, a Japanese-made aircraft attained a world record time, flying between Tokyo and London in 94 hours, 17 minutes, and 56 seconds. NTN products were used as components for the aircraft and its engines. This accomplishment demonstrated that the company had made significant progress as a bearing manufacturer. However, by the conclusion of the Pacific War, NTN had been set back on its heels. It had lost its factory, workers, and capital. In 1945, the company was put in the hands of the GHQ administration for 7 years, and production was stalled. Despite facing formidable challenges to get back on track, NTN was committed to a post-war revival. In 1954, only 2 years after regaining its autonomy, the company was awarded the first Deming Prize in the machinery industry. In 1960, NTN bearings were adopted for the Shinkansen project. The company managed to uphold its renowned quality, instituting its first 5 business plans. Furthermore, the company succeeded in developing its groundbreaking needle bearings as well as drive shafts. NTN has developed innovative products with global perspective and has been leading the bearing industry. This was the result of the frontier spirit of its leaders, who carefully monitored world markets and responded as needed, and coexistence and co-prosperity spirit that helped the entire industry to thrive. The company's 2 founders left their mark on NTN through their inspirational spirit as well as their important words. In our past 100 years, the bearing industry has become indispensable to all branches of industry. Thanks to its frontier spirit and commitment to the industry's prosperity, NTN continues to grow with society in the modern era. The company excels at developing the technologies that ensure smooth movement. We shall contribute to international society through creating new technologies and developing new products. With this philosophy, NTN is helping to bring about a brighter future.